I'm kind of a selfish artist in the sense that like I really don't care. Like I'm sort of writing what I think is fun to play, especially with this band. Like we when we started it, like we didn't. It was just for fun. We just wanted to like jam metal, play shows, write music that we enjoyed and for fun with our friends. Like I was saying earlier, we expected like to play around Texas, but we didn't expect to like, you know, play around the country and play around different countries, playing Canada and all this other shit. So like that's kind of still the attitude we kind of carry. It's just like
Yeah.
it's for fun. If it's not fun, then it's just like why are we putting ourselves through this? You know what I mean?
Today on the show, we're joined with the one and only Trey Pemberton of the band Creeping Death. This was exciting for me because Creeping Death has been spinning on my Spotify for the past 2 years. It's great to pick his brain. And on October 8th, they got a new release, an EP titled The Edge of Existence. I got an early listen to that, and it fucking crushes. So, if you're into extreme metal or just love hearing a story about people following their passion and turning it into a profession, this is an interview for you. So, without further ado, here's Trey right now. I actually appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. I've been listening to the band for the past 2 years. The last album, Wretched Illusions, has been like my soundtrack for my runs. Every time I'm hitting the
Nice.
track, man, it's just such a fucking good, powerful vibe going on. And yeah, I'm really excited about this new one. I got to listen to the little preview and everything, and man, I can't say enough. It's just fucking awesome. Like, how are you feeling about getting that out?
Oh, I'm stoked. I think with the pandemic and all this time off, I'm just excited to just release more music. We pretty much with the Wretched Illusion, we were on that tour cycle, like pretty much heavy in the middle of it when everything shut down. So that got pretty much cut in half, and we had pretty much no material. So we just kind of got together, and everything was shut down, and we had our own private jam space. So it was one of the only places we could like go and just kind of be hang out and sort of just escape from all the bullshit that was sort of going on in the world and in our lives at the time. So it was sort of a good experience in the sense that we were able to like sort of lean on each other and sort of shitty times and stuff like that. So it was fun in that sense, and I'm excited to put it out and sort of show what we've been doing.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to hear it too. And it's cool that it seems like the world's kind of piecing itself back together. Like just like
Yeah.
2 years ago, it seems like you guys just had so much momentum. Like almost every like metal blog I would see, like it's like you guys are there, your new videos are popping up and everything. And even I got to see you. I believe it was with High on Fire and Power
Hmm.
Trip the other
Yeah.
year. And yeah, it's just like it's too bad everything got cut off, but I'm glad you guys are back in full swing and just fucking doing it.
Yeah. The thing is like, everything got shut down, but we were just like, well, we might as well make use of this downtime. So I mean, we're still writing songs, but we've written a ton of songs. Like we've got, even after this, we still have an LP's worth of material pretty much that we're hopefully going to record within the next, I don't know, who knows when. But so we got a lot of material coming out soon that we're pretty hyped on. So uh, yeah, everything is we weren't gonna like just sort of use this downtime to just like do nothing. So we wanted to make good use of it, turn lemons to lemonade, as they say.
Yeah, facts, man. And
Yeah, with my yellow ass shirt.
yeah, branding the theme right now. That's awesome. But yeah, even like I got excited to specifically like when I heard that I was going to talk to you, because one of my favorite things about Creeping Death is actually like the guitar tone. It just crushes so much, but it still kind of has like this classic style. I don't know, like I'm not a producer myself too, but just when I
Mhm.
hear it in the headphones, man, it just like gets me amped. like I want to like punch something in a way. And that's probably like why I listen to you guys while I like work out and everything. But I just kind of want to know, like maybe like back in time when you guys were like putting the band together, was that always like an intentional sound you wanted to make, or did it take a while to find that?
Oh yeah, it took a while. So like Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no
I
problem.
just keep get I just keep getting these spam calls today. Like today of all days, crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm actually a drummer by trade. That's my first instrument. When I started this band, I'd only been playing guitar for maybe a year, 2 years, something like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so when we had written our demo, I've been playing for maybe like 2 years or so. So like I didn't know. I mean I'm still learning every day to this day, like learning because like I said, it's pretty. It was new to me. So what I guess the tone is the progression of me investing more money into my gear
Mm.
because before I only had a 6505 and a tuner. And then I got a tube screamer, and then I got a noise suppressor, then I got this, and then I got that, and then then you start dialing stuff in, and I honestly, truly, I have all Eric, our bass player, all of him to thank. He, from the time I started learning guitar, seriously, from the time I started learning guitar, even when he wasn't in the band, um, he was the person I went to for all of my guitar advice, all of my. He's my guitar knowledge guru. Like, if there's an issue with my gear, my guitar, whether it's live or in person or whatever. I go to Eric. Like he's taught me so much. A lot of that tone credit goes to him. Man has a excellent ear, and he's like super smart, and he just dives in and just if he doesn't know something, he's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know this," and then he's just gonna learn it, and then he's gonna tell you
Hmm.
about it later. So he's one of those kind of people. So I have all him to thank. Like once he joined the band, after the uh, when did Eric join the band? I would say I think it was 2017 maybe he joined the band. After that, I would say that's when our tone really started to like uh, turn, make it a lot better. Sacrament of Death, or not Sacrament, Spectre of War was the first one that he was on, and I think that's when you start to hear the tone get a lot better, for sure. And then now it's just pretty much not so. It's not really a quest for like, oh, like this was like the perfect tone we wanted. It's pretty much like it's pretty nebulous, honestly. It's like
Hmm.
when we recorded this EP or when we record period, we don't really go in thinking this is the tone we want. It's like let's just go in and here's the gear we got at the studio. Here's the gear that we own. Let's like just see what we can make that we like. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it turned out, and that's what we did with Ryan Graham down at Home Record Studios in Arizona. He's got a lot of great gear, a lot of boutique gear, so took advantage of that. Him and Eric were just like it was like it might as well be speaking Klingon, dude. I was just like
Yeah.
I'm just like I could talk drum, rudiments and all this stuff all day, like and I'm sure it sounds like a space alien language to some people, but like it just the tone and the guitar and they're just dialing stuff in, and I'm just listening to it, and I'm just like, how about now? And I'm like, sounds the same. What about now? Sounds the same. And then they'll just debate and they'll be like, I like this one because blah 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 blah. And he's like, okay, but let's blah 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 blah. I'm just like, you guys are nuts. But God
Yeah.
bless them because they really really like take the time and to you know dial in the minutia of it all. And I think it sounds pretty sick, pretty unique too. At least on this newest EP. And then on our LP, it's like we even want to take what we did and just take it a step further. Take more time on the
Mm.
tone and dialing stuff in and stuff like that and playing with gear and I have bought new gear since recording, so there's new stuff that we get to try and yada yada yada. So it's always going to sound a little bit different, I think, from record to record, but it'll be just a sort of a ever evolving quest of sort of like, what are we feeling today, you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fire, and like, yeah, I keep doing what you're doing. I love it too, and I love just like it's kind of got like a raw sound to it as well. It's like if you see you guys play live too as well, that's what makes it special as well. It's like not too like I don't know why like because I'm not a producer myself like like I love like when you can like listen to the record and it sounds like the same like as it does live.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
that is actually the one of the biggest caveats that I've personally always had, and why I think that like the tone has evolved in such a way. Because like I've always been a big like I don't want to sound like I want to sound like on the record like how we sound like live. I don't want people to see us live and be like, "What?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I hate that so much. So, if I only have a 6505, I'm like, I only just want to use this. Like, clean it up in the studio or whatever. So like I just want to use this. So like my big thing is like I want to be able to recreate the tone like live. And with the gear that we have, like we can pretty well. Like Eric, again, he's the guru. He's been able to dial in everything. And AJ knows his way around the whole tone thing too. He's got a lot of really nice gear, so we were able to sort of like blend it and dial it in so it sounds like how whatever record that we're playing, like the newest one at the time. We try to just make sure our tone just gets better and better as we go.
Yeah, facts, facts. And that seems like, I don't know, from the outside and looking in on kind of like your scene down south with like a band like Power Trip as well. Like they kind of had that same factor when I would see them live. It's like sounds like the record and everything. And I kind of want to know a little bit more about like this the scene you guys kind of like grew your band in as well.
Hmm.
It's just even like I'm in Canada right now and it came all the way up north, like your group of bands and everything, and it kind of revitalized my love for extreme metal and stuff like that too. So I kind of want to know, just like kind of like maybe before you guys kind of popped off with like the last album, like how was it like just being in that scene?
Oh, it's great. I think the Texas, well, we're all hardcore kids. Like we all, even Power Trip, like they all came from the Dallas Fort Worth hardcore scene. Just Texas hardcore in general. I've always had a very fond spot for. Always had great bands, and bands that I feel like generations. I just think that like there's a very good culture of reverence for the people who came before you. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of nods and winks and nods and taking influence from you know bands that were excellent bands. So um, I think that lends to it, as well as just geographically, like you said, you're still far away in Canada. We're far away from everybody. We're 24 hours away from each coast. Where most people live on the coast. That's where the most of the media is. So it's cheaper, just and way more lucrative, because uh, three of the biggest cities in the United States, period, in the top 10 are in Texas. Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. So, and Austin is still one of the top 15 or 20 or something like that. So, you could play those four cities, do a little Texas run, Texas tour, just play amongst your peers, play some banger shows to huge metropolitan areas, and come away with some loot, good money.
Mhm.
And so people, of course, you're just a lot of people are just going to do that. So I think that's why you see a lot of people sort of take influence from their peers here, and why Texas sort of has its own sort of sound and its own sort of deal, because it's mostly just Texans playing amongst and with Texans, so it's going to be like sort of its own thing. And as far as like Texas hardcore, that's where all of us pretty much cut our teeth. Frozen Soul as well. They're from the um, Dallas hardcore scene, and so we all came up in sort of that space of sort of look forward, but also sort of revere the people who came before you, and also help the people. Don't pull the ladder up behind you. Like that was a really big thing with Power Trip, is that like they were always putting on for younger bands. They were always putting on something for the city, something like big like that. And I think Texas bands uh, continue a good job of continuing that for the bands that you know come come forward. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty fairly unique of the scene. I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome too. Even on one of the new track, like you mentioned, you kind of like give like a little winks and nods to like different influences. And I actually wanted to ask on one of your new tracks, Humanity Transcends. In the intro, there's a
Hmm.
bit of like a squealy guitar that reminded me like exactly like Dimebag Darrell, like just back in the like Pantera days, like just something like it's about that squeal. It sounded like Cemetery Gates or something like that. Is that like
Uh,
an intentional nod to them, or
I
no?
mean,
Or is that just
it
a
wasn't
Texas way like of playing
it,
guitar? Like,
it wasn't intentional. Like
yeah.
it was intentional in the way that like I feel like if you're trying to do a dive bomb or anything like that, it doesn't matter if you dislike Pantera or not. Those are the best in the game. Best in
Yeah.
the game. So like that's what I'm always kind of shooting for, regardless. And that's nice of you to say that I kind of got close, but I personally think I've never gotten even remotely close. I'm
We're
still
all our
working on
worst critic, man. But no,
the
that sounded so sick when I heard that. I was like, oh.
Thank you, thank you. But I'm trying to work on that technique still. I still, um, I, I'm like, uh, I feel like I have Floyd Rose PTSD because my first guitar I had it was Jackson Kelly, and I I was learning how to do this restringing and setting up myself and all that. And I did it myself before a show. I thought I did a good job. And I was just like ripping this like nasty like dive bomb. And I was like, hell yeah. And then it just like whole thing just like just like completely all the strings just completely just like came out. And
Oh.
ever since then, I have like just been so scared to ever try to do it like my own setup or repairs or anything like that with the Floyd Rose. I'm just like traumatized, and now I feel like I have to like sort of not relearn, but like sort of not be scared to like sort of like be harder on it. So I was trying to you know do it a little bit more than I normally do. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to continue to do better ones going forward too. So
Yeah,
should be
that's a rational fear to have too. You don't want to be on stage and just break a bunch of strings too. Like I couldn't even imagine like just like the panic of
dude. Yeah,
like mid song. You're like, damn.
it's like the dream. It's like the dream that people talk about where you're going on stage and it's like you're in your underwear and everyone's like looking at you or whatever. It was like that. It was just like it was just like "Bang," and it made this ugly ass noise and my guitar started to feed back and I was just like fuck. I was just like, damn it. And I just
Damn.
turned it off and
Yeah.
they finished out the song and I was just like, does anyone have another guitar? It was just like, damn it.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm a videographer for a battle rap league, and all the performers, they always
Hell
tell me
yeah.
they all have the same nightmare where they wake up, it's like show day and they forget all their bars. It's like everybody I talk.
Oh,
So I guess this is like the guitar equivalent of like you're just like fuck.
absolutely, absolutely. That's with every not every time, but like there's a little piece of me in the back of my now I have a backup guitar, so it's not really bad as an anxiety, but there's always a little thing in the back of my head like, Trey, if you break a string during this set, you're fucked. Because
Yeah.
like you don't have anything back up, and I doubt any of the bands you play with play in any similar tuning. So you
Yeah,
better
for sure. Like I can imagine like you can grab somebody else's guitar, but then like you don't have the muscle memory with it, like it doesn't feel right or whatever. But
yeah, it that for me that's like not even really it. It's the string gauge. It's like everyone has a different string gauge. So some dude might hand me a guitar and it's like, oh, we play in D standard and I can drop it down to drop C, which we'll be playing, but he plays in like some super way thinner strings than I do. And it just feels like I'm playing with like shoelaces. And it's just like,
yeah.
dude, I'm like, I cannot I need like thick, like tense like strings to play. So like I'm just like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, yeah. One thing you mentioned earlier too, you kind of said you're making the music that like you have fun playing and what you like listening to, and
Mhm.
I think that's so special as like somebody in any art form. Like I interview like a bunch of comedians on here. It's like they always say, oh, it's like the best jokes are the ones that make me laugh, and the stuff that I'm over calculating, being like, oh, I hope they like this, like, because this references to this and this. Those are like the ones that bomb and stuff. And like almost all the best bands, like just kind of, it comes from like the soul and the heart. And I feel like that's what probably makes what's so unique about Creeping Death and everything.
Yeah, I like I'm the first to say that like uh I'm kind of a selfish artist in the sense that like I really don't care. Like I'm sort of writing what I think is fun to play for like it's like, oh, does this sound good to me? Like is this sick to me? Okay.
Mm,
Is this fun to play and it's sick to me? Okay. Then that's like sort of
yeah.
my like thought process. It's like everyone else. It's like I love and appreciate every single person who listens to it and likes it and connects with me on that level as well. But like for me, straight up, it's just like, hey, us us five, like, do we like listening to this personally? And do we like playing it personally? And is it fun like that? Then and if it is, then like that's cool because like honestly like especially in 2021 is that like every single person is going to have an opinion on every single thing and they're going to want this and want that and you can't please everyone, so if you can't please everyone, why not please yourself first, you know what I mean? Like and
Yeah.
if people along the way connect with you and connect like and enjoy your music and your art, then that's fucking awesome and badass. And if they don't, then it's okay. Then they probably never were going to. So you don't try to pander to those people anyway. Just
Yeah.
sort of
And
do
especially
what,
like
yeah.
I feel like if you like obviously you love like metal and hardcore and you're in the
Mhm.
scene too, and if you're making something you like, it's coming like from that passion, and like people are gonna connect to it if they're into that kind of music. If you're like into it and you're like, this is sick, somebody's gonna like it. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
dope.
and it's like with this, especially with this band, like we when we started it, like we didn't. It was just for fun. We just wanted to like jam metal, and, like play shows, like play cool shows, and write music that we enjoyed and for fun with our friends. Like we didn't ever expect, like I was saying earlier, we expected like to play around Texas, but we didn't expect to like you know play around the country and play around different countries, playing Canada and all this other shit. So you know, there's like like that's kind of still the attitude we gotta carry. It's just like
Yeah.
it's for fun. If it's not fun, then it's just like why are we putting ourselves through this? You know what I mean? Like we could be doing other things. So it's gotta be like fun for us first and foremost, you know?
Yeah, that's so sick and awesome. And yeah, congrats on like all the success too, especially going into it with that spirit and then being able to sign to a major label and touring the world and everything. That's awesome. I know like so many people who absolutely hate their jobs, so it's like such a blessing to just be like, I don't know, I hacked the matrix. We're like we're going out, we're having a
Yeah,
good time, we're getting paid, we're meeting new people, we're playing fucking metal, and like that's
exactly.
awesome, man.
And I think this time off really reinforced that for us because like we were all basically forced back into those jobs, like,
Yeah.
just where we were just forced to work and be basically, fucking NPCs, like that shit
Yeah,
sucks.
I love that NPCs. Like I heard somebody else say that too about like just kind of like living like a life that I don't know you're not passionate about. You turn into like,
Yeah.
which is a gaming reference for people listening to this as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, sorry to cut you
non-playable
off there.
character.
That popped me the NPCs.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's just so boring and not like fulfilling. Like I mean, like I have a college degree. Eric has a college degree. We technically really could just be working like other jobs, but like that's that. I mean, and Eric has like he's had normal jobs, but like that shit is like soul sucking, and this is like a passion. And like I said, like I think the time off put that in perspective. I think what is going on around the world just in general sort of put that in perspective where it's like I'm still in my 20s now, like I'm going to do and see as much as I can, one while it's still here, and then two while I still am physically able, because If anything of the last 18 months has shown is that we really don't know what's around the corner because like, things things are wild out here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just trying to take advantage of the time I have when I'm able-bodied, able to do, things and see the world, and see things as much as I can before it's like too late. I know that sounds like morbid, but it's like supposed to be positive. So, I'm like trying to just like see things and do things and just enjoy myself first, I guess. Maybe I know that's like a privilege. I'm very lucky and privileged to be able to do that and say that. I recognize that, but that's just where I'm at, and I'm blessed to be able to be in this position. And I also feel like since I should take that advantage. I should take advantage of it, because not everyone is able to be lucky enough to be able to do it. So that's another thing as well for me. So
Yeah, I agree. But also on the other side of the coin, like you guys worked for it as well. Like you listen to this music, it's fucking sick. And like I saw like you on that tour, you guys were out grinding it too. And like that shit just leads to more opportunities and everything. So it's you've built this awesome adventure you're on. And I feel like it's still the beginning for you guys. And it's gonna be like even bigger and bigger. Like I get the same vibe of like we keep mentioning Power Trip. It's like when I first discovered them, they were like my little band, and they come to Toronto, and I see them in like a little like tiny venue that only holds like 50 people, and Riley's got the mic in my face, and then next thing I
mhm,
know, it's like when I saw you guys, they're on like the big stage of the Danforth Music Hall, and like I feel like it's
yeah,
just an upward trajectory for you guys. And it's cool that you're about to release this some new music on October 8th, The Edge of Existence, right?
yes,
And
yes,
yeah, so like people get just more of you, and I feel like that's just going to keep like naturally growing what you guys are doing.
yeah. Thank you. I really thank you for the kind words for real. Yeah, that's the goal. That's what we really wanted to do with this time off. Was like, we wanted to not get caught in this situation where we didn't have any material, like we had none when everything shut down. So it's like, hey, let's get ahead of this. Like, let's continue to write, so that when things do pick up and we do write in between. Sorry again, these spam calls.
Oh, it's
Um,
okay. It's okay. No problem.
so when we're right in between, it's not as dire. We're not trying to cram writing sessions in because we have a few songs in the bank already from your XYZ from yada yada yada. So, yeah, we continue to, we want like we I wouldn't say we stumbled into it for sure. It was like not it was like for fun, but personally for me, maybe it's just like my competitiveness, and it's not that I'm competitive against other bands. It's really for myself. Is that like I really just want to do every single thing, especially if it's something I'm passionate about. Like
Mm-hmm.
to the best of my abilities, like do it as hard as I possibly can. When I was playing sports in high school, I was the same way with playing football and stuff like that. Just always after school and doing the extra work and shit like that. So I think that translates, and I was lucky enough to find bandmates who are also like with me on that. Like we all want to always do the best that we possibly can and be like do as much. We just want to do it hard. We don't want to half-ass it. That's really the thing. Is
Oh
like
fuck
if
yeah.
when we like got the offer and all that, it's like the thing we all agree on. Like, hey, if we really do this, like we're not gonna half-ass this. Like we're gonna do this for real. And I think they all really took that to heart. So that's really kind of the attitude we try to continue to have.
That's amazing, man. And yeah, kudos for that. And yeah, thanks for making awesome music. And like I mentioned earlier, like you guys are like some of the bands like right now who've revitalized my love for like extreme metal too. And I can't wait till the borders open again, so you guys can come up here once again, and definitely like see you in person.
I can't wait. I seriously cannot wait to come back. Canada. I love Canada so much. Like You have no idea. The food is better. Like the people are so nice. Weed is legal. Everything is great. I love it there. I cannot wait to be back. And also, whenever we play Canada, we always have it basically like into the schedule where we can stay a day off either before or after when we leave to go to Vermont
Mm.
to stay with Lincoln's aunt who has a bed and breakfast in a beautiful, beautiful area of Vermont. And we stay there, just recharge, just chill out, play with their dogs. It's awesome. So every time I go to Canada, it's either we start off with that and then we go to Canada and or we go to Canada and finish with that. It's always just like the whole thing is just amazing and it's awesome and I can't wait to do it again. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an amazing tradition. But yeah, I don't know if you got other like interviews today or whatever. I was told I got a half hour with you, but I just want to say I appreciate the time talking to you. It's really fun to pick your brain, and like I said a million times, like I'm a big fan of Creeping Death, so like this was one of my favorite interviews I've done in a while, just to be able to kind of get a little extra layers of the music I love and hearing backstories and all that too, man. So thank you once again, man. I really appreciate the time.
Dude, of course. Thank you for having me. I had a great time too. I always, love it when I'm always having fun with the interviews. You ask great questions that, lead me to get great answers. So it's a good mutual thing here. And I also can't wait to hopefully I can meet you in person next time we play Toronto as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe we can do the next one in person and everything. And yeah,
Dude,
that'd be
absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll find your Instagram and everything. I'll hit up Ola, my friend and good PR person, and yeah,
Perfect.
we'll link up next time. But yeah, once again, Trey, thanks for the time, and yeah, have a great week, man.
Thank you. You too, man.
Hope you guys enjoyed that episode with Trey from Creeping Death. I'll save the growling to the professionals. I think I just hurt my voice right there. Before we go, just to remind you once again, The Edge of Existence by Creeping Death is released on October 8th. I got the early preview and it is fucking amazing. And another thing before we go, I can't forget to give the special thanks to all the homies on the Patreon. And first up, the co-producer Jeremy Hopkin of Hopkins Design, Ola Mazuka of Sonic Fold, Ryan Watkins of Ryan Radio, Amanda McKnight of Top 10 Nerd, Pat Maloney, Ryan Campbell, Daniel Sun, Drew Stewart, Devin Staple, Mike Ulio, David Kearney, Jared Pepper Bronstein. What up, homie? I miss you. And last but not least, Francis Coffer, aka my mom. Appreciate all of you. Sorry, September was a little slow month for episodes. Had to step back to step forward. Sometimes that's how it goes when you're a one-man army. But I feel like I'm overcompensating, and you're about to get blasted with new episodes. We've been recording every day. You're gonna be like, Sean, stop it! I can't keep up. But that's what's going on right now. And thanks again. And here's a little Creeping Death riff from the new one to send you off.